Hi guys! So this video, if you couldn't tell by the title and thumbnail and everything, it's a bit more serious than my other videos, and I honestly didn't even know if I was gonna make it, or at least not for a while, because I want it to be just happy all the time. I want to have just a happy, positive channel, and because of what is going on with me right now, I kind of need to make a couple changes to the channel. Nothing major, not a big deal, but I'll get to it in a second. And it's just gonna be for a little while. But because of that, I feel like I kind of have to explain my situation to you guys. I mean, it is a pretty cool story, and so maybe it'll help somebody out, and maybe it'll inspire some people, or I don't know, at least entertain you at least, I don't know. Okay, so this is the story about how Disney saved my life. Honestly, this is kind of, I can't even really believe I'm making this video. It's really personal. So as you can probably tell by the title and the thumbnail or whatever, that I am really, really sick. I have a chronic illness. I've always had it since I've started making these YouTube videos, so it's nothing new, it's not like breaking news to me. It might be to you guys, but I'll explain it in a second. When me and my brother were little, so he was probably 2 and I was probably around 4, we had a movie and it was called A Day at Disneyland. You can find it on YouTube now. It's totally old, totally 90s, or even 80s maybe. I don't know. I think it's early 90s. It's basically just little snippets of the rides and things you can do there. We would watch it all the time, and we would spin around in circles. We were trying to pretend we were on the rides, and for some reason spinning was I don't know, made it feel like we were on the rides. And we called it Disney Till You're Dizzy. Hence the name of the channel and my book and everything. We would do it all the time. We loved it. And then when I was 13 and so he was 11 years old, my parents got divorced. That's a super, super hard thing. So many people deal with that, whether it's your parents are divorced or you're divorced or both, or you know somebody who's divorced or their parents are divorced or something. Everybody, I think, is affected by divorce in some way, but it doesn't make it any less hard. When we were having just a rough day, whenever we would have just a hard time, we would watch Disneyland videos on YouTube, because YouTube was around by then. And then we kind of found facts online. And I don't even know if they had fact videos on YouTube at that point. YouTube was kind of new, and Disney themed YouTube videos were kind of new too. So we would read facts online and we would watch the ride-throughs on YouTube. We seriously would totally get lost in it, and it made the time fly by. It really helped us. It made us feel happier. It helped us kind of escape from the hard times of my parents' divorce to the happiest place on earth, you know? And it was really, really awesome for us to be able to have that. Even though we didn't spin in circles anymore, we still called it Disney Till You're Dizzy, because it was our thing that we kept going. We still kind of did that, and even as we got older, that became something that I would do, and I know he probably still does too. It's just whenever you feel like you need an escape, or if you're bored or something, a lot of the time I would just look up Disneyland facts, or I'd watch Disneyland videos on YouTube. In October 2015, I got married, which was really awesome, and I have the best husband in the whole world. Everything was great, and then about, November, December, January, February. So about 4 months into my marriage, we have these really, really good friends. They're our best friends, who I actually set them up. I set them up on a blind date, and now they're married, so I'm also a matchmaker. We went to dinner with them because it was my birthday. And this story, when I talk about my sickness, it might be kind of TMI, and I'm sorry. but it's kind of like essential to the story, so I'm gonna have to kind of bear with me. I'm sorry. We get home and I just was feeling so sick to my stomach, and I just felt really, really nauseous. I'm one of those people, not anymore, but I was one of those people where I like never throw up. I never get sick at anything. I ran into the bathroom and I threw up, and I was like, that's really weird. And then like a couple days later, after I ate some food, I threw up again, and then like it kind of became like a consistent thing just over the next couple days, and I was like, I must be pregnant. That's the only explanation for this. My stepsister and my cousin and my husband, we were all about to go to Idaho for a thing, and I kept taking tests that were negative, but it could have been like too early to test, you know, so I was waiting for it to not be too early. People were like, okay, so if you're not pregnant, then what? And I was like, well, then something's seriously wrong with me, but I was joking because I was like, this is the only explanation, because I've never been sick before. I don't really get sick, so I was like, I must be pregnant. That's the only explanation. All of a sudden, when we were in Idaho, I was in so much pain. I hadn't been in pain yet. If you're pregnant, being in pain is like really not a good thing. So we went to the ER, first of all, because I was in a lot of pain, and second of all, if I was pregnant, you're not supposed to be in pain. And they did a pregnancy test, the blood pregnancy test, and they were like, you're not pregnant. And so I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? That was probably the beginning of my really long journey of doctors and tests and so many things. I went to lots and lots of doctors. Finally, I went to a really, really awesome gastroenterologist who ran a couple tests, and he told me that I have what's called idiopathic gastroparesis, which means my stomach is partially paralyzed and it can't digest food correctly. This whole time I kind of kept thinking that it was like appendicitis, something that would be like sucky, but I would be able to like just have a quick surgery and then be done and move on with my life. It never occurred to me that this could be a chronic thing, that it wouldn't go away right away. And I realized, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have to deal with this forever. At the time, I was in nursing school. I was working as a certified nursing assistant and a lifeguard. I tried to stay in school and I tried to keep working, and school was really, really hard and it really affected my grades. It just wasn't working, so I was like, maybe I'll just take a year off. So I had to quit school. I couldn't work 2 jobs anymore, and so I had to quit being a certified nursing assistant. Kind of was realizing that it wasn't really for me anyway, being a nurse. So I was just a lifeguard for a while, and it just kept getting worse. They were so sweet and so understanding, but I felt terrible because I would have to call in sick, or I would have to run off the chair to throw up or be sick, and we were having to watch like 2 pools at a time. It's like, it was really hard for them. I had to quit. And I still miss it to this day because they were so awesome. Then I was really, really sad because I wasn't going to school, I wasn't working. I was sick, throwing up all the time, in pain, couch potato, and I started dealing with a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression. And I went to counseling, and the source of my anxiety and depression came from me being sick most of the time, and the fact that I couldn't work and I couldn't go to school and I was just a vegetable. I couldn't do anything. I used to be very athletic and I was very ambitious and had a lot going for me, and all of a sudden that was ripped from underneath me, and I was such a mess. And it did get to the point to where I would feel suicidal. And that is not something that I wanted to announce ever. I never wanted anybody to ever know about it. But I feel, I don't know, maybe this could help people. This is why I'm including this part of the story in there, because it is possible that if somebody out there is kind of experiencing something similar, and if you need to talk to somebody, I want you to know that I'm here. And then it does get better. Anyway, I won't go too much into it, but the point is, I'm here for anybody who needs to talk. You can message me on Facebook. That's actually probably the best way to contact me. Or you can DM me on Instagram. Or send me a message on YouTube. Any of those things. And I you guys. And back to what I was saying before, whenever I would have a hard day or something, or just bored, needed entertainment, and at this point as a couch potato feeling depressed, I was bored, needed entertainment, and super depressed. So I was watching a lot of Disneyland videos at this time. I was watching a whole bunch of Subway Mouse and a whole bunch of Lazarus Dink. I can pretty much quote Lazarus Dink. And I was watching a lot of Fresh Baked Disney, and it would help me escape, you know, and help me feel better. One day, my husband comes home from work and he sees that I'm, you know, watching Disneyland videos as I normally did and still do. He's like, with all this knowledge that you have at Disneyland, you should write a fact book. I should tell you guys, in English class, I did like okay, but I wasn't like author good. I literally laughed at him in his face and I was like, that is stupid. He's like, why don't you try to write down as many facts as you can before we go to bed? And we had about 2 hours before we were going to bed at this point. And so I was like, all right, challenge accepted. And I start writing down just off the top of my head facts about Disneyland. In 2 hours, I wrote down 250 facts. I went to bed, you know, still unsure, and I woke up, then I started researching, and I had a couple books about Disneyland written by the Imagineers, and a Hidden Mickey book, and a couple other books, and I started watching, you know, fact videos on YouTube, and so I started just writing down more facts, and I started fact-checking facts to make sure I was right. I kept writing, and every day I was fact-checking and researching and gathering all these facts and writing them down, and then finally I got to 1,028 facts. Then I was like, okay, now what? And the next day I cut them up, then I sorted them. I started typing them up, making sure they made sense. I contacted a publisher called Theme Park Press. Now it's published. When I was writing my book, I had somewhere I was going. I had a goal, and I had something to look forward to, and it was something that made me so happy. It was an escape. You know, I was literally at Disneyland every single day, even though the whole time I was writing my book, I was a couch potato. It literally saved my life. The reason I do YouTube, honestly and truly, is because I want to help anybody else who needs Disney. And I want you guys to feel happy when you're watching my videos, and I want you guys to feel safe talking to me, and I want you guys to be able to escape. Even if I do get better, I think I'm still gonna continue doing YouTube and writing books and helping people be happy, even when they can't be at the happiest place on earth. That is what Disney Till You're Dizzy is all about. So that's it. That's how Disney saved my life. If you guys liked it, I hoped maybe it helps you or inspires you. Give this video a thumbs up, it helps me out a lot. Oh, also look in the link in the description below for my book that I wrote, Disney Till You're Dizzy, 1001 Facts, Rumors, and Myths About the Disneyland Resort. Also look for my social medias down there too. Side note really fast, not really going to talk about my gastroparesis or my kind of mental health issues in any more of my videos unless you guys really want me to, then I will, but I'll probably do it in like a bonus video, so then you guys still get videos that are just Disney stuff. So as far as mental health goes, I am 100% better actually, but my physical health, as far as my gastroparesis and this new thing, whatever else is happening, if you guys want updates on that, I can give them to you. Just be sure to let me know. Always remember that there is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.